Today I want to talk to you about a couple recent purchases I've made in terms of low profile reels. And that would be the Okuma X Series that you see up here. I bought one of these about 6 weeks ago and I've been using it and I've been loving it. I got 30-pound braid on it. This thing spins like crazy. It casts like crazy. I can cast nice light lures with it. It's really my favorite reel that I've ever had, especially on the lighter weight models. If this thing lasts like my big ones, you know, I'm gonna have no issues for the next 5 years, and that's what I want, and that's what I expect out of a reel. A couple other manufacturers that I had, you know, not so much. Had issues with them. The Okuma has 10 bearings in it. Gear ratio that I got for the first purchase was the 8.1, and the line retrieval on that's 32 inches, and the weight is 5.6 ounces. That's very light. That's lighter than one of my other reels, but one of the other ones that I did have, I think, came in at 5.2 ounces, which is really light. But the drag is better on this one. This one has 24 pounds of drag. Not really crucial. The other ones had 20 pounds, but you know, if you're gonna have 30-pound test, you might as well have 24 pounds of drag. So that's something also to consider. And then there's the spool and line capacity. It's not, you know, it's a 100 series, so it's kind of a small line capacity, but you know, I'm really not having fish spool me. I'm not hooking 100-pound tarpon on this thing, luckily, or hopefully not. Hopefully I'll be smart enough to use a larger rod if I get into a fish that's that big. So I liked my first Okuma so much that I was like, you know, I'm not happy with the other reel I have on the other rods. So I'm gonna up my game on both of them, and I ended up buying a second one, and I got it now on this Hurricane Redbone rod. This one's also like 20 years old, maybe even older. And this one I got the 7.3 to 1 retrieve on it. So yeah, the line per revolution is 29 inches as opposed to the 32. But all other respects, it's the same. It's got the same drag. It's got the same weight and same line capacity, and it's got the same price. I got this at Tackle Warehouse. They don't have these at Amazon. So yeah, Tackle Warehouse is where I got mine, and you know, they're a very large, reputable company, so you should have no issues buying from them. Some of the things I really like about it is I can use lighter weights. I can use really light, like Slam Shady 2.0. I can cast very light lures, which, if you know anything about bait casters, that's a little bit of an issue. You know, if you have a feather lightweight, you know, you're gonna have a hard time casting it very far, and you probably should use a spinner for that kind of situation. And but yeah, I've had no problem casting small lures. You know, as you may know, I cast the Minnow Z-Man on a 3/8 ounce jig head most of the time, but recently I've been casting some smaller 2.0s because there's so much grass. I've been fishing in a lot of grass in the Indian River, believe it or not. So I've been using the Slam Shady 2.0 weedless, and this is the one I've been using. You know, I had no problem throwing this as far as I wanted and as far as I needed. And in fact, I'm sure this reel casts further, much further than my other two previous reels, and that's why I'm recommending it, and that's why I like it the most. The other thing is, when I'm reeling all day long, I mean, it's just like I don't feel anything. It feels like I'm just doing this and there's nothing there. It feels like nothing there, you know. And so when I do like get a little weed on or something, you know, there's a drastic difference, you know, in the amount of resistance that I feel on the reel. So yeah, it's very, very light, has good reeling, casts very far. One of the things that's not as good as some of the other manufacturers, specifically like Lew's, is you do have to go inside this, open the side plate to get to the brakes in here. But it's really not an issue for me because I set this one time and I forget it, you know. You can set them when, if you're a beginner, you know, you want to have more of these brakes on. As you get more accustomed to them, you have less of the brakes on. I have like one on each side of the brakes on each one of these reels, and I just kind of forget it. I just set it and forget it and close this door. But yeah, some of the other manufacturers have like a dial here, which is obviously more convenient. But the fishing that I've done, I've only needed to adjust the little tension knob on the side here, and you can hear that it's got a little clicker in it. But yeah, according to, you know, when you first start out in the morning, you might need to loosen it up a little bit until you've made a few casts, and then you know, tighten it down a couple cranks. But other than that, there's nothing to do. I have lubed up the first one I got. I added a little bit of grease to the worm gear because, you know, when you're on a paddleboard, you're exposed to a lot of salt water, and you know, I have to spray off my rods pretty good. So yeah, the worm gear, you know, the water gets in there, and you got to re-grease the worm gear every once in a while. But I've only done that once, and I'd have to do that with all my other reels. So that's no different than anything else that, you know, you got to maintain these things. But you know, they are better for casting. You have more accuracy. There's a lot of great things about the baitcaster. You can use the, you know, thumb drag. You can slowly feather your lure into wherever you're casting. Not like with the spinner. With the spinner, you have to just stop. You can't really feather a spinner. You know, you can determine where you want to stop it, but with a baitcaster, you can feather it in there and cast it just a little bit harder than you really need to, and just slowly put your thumb down and stop it. You watch it and stop it, and you know, wherever you want it, that's where you stop it. Much more accurate, in my opinion. Much more ease of accuracy, in my opinion. And that's why the bass guys like them, because you know, they can be a lot more accurate casting all day long, making these, you know, super accurate casts under all kinds of conditions. But anyway, if bait casting's not for you, that's fine. But if you are in the market for one of these bait casters, I'd highly recommend this one. I'm not sponsored by them. I have nothing to do with Tackle Warehouse or Okuma. I'm just a guy who likes to recommend stuff that he really likes. You know, you haven't seen me push any other products really. Just stuff that I like to use. I'm not going to take any freebies from anybody. I'm not going to get any freebies from anybody. But yeah, I'm just like a guy with a YouTube channel who likes to go fishing and tell you about my experiences. And some of my experiences are good with some of my manufacturers from some of these rods and reels, and some of them are bad. But you know, this was a good one, and so far everything is wonderful with my Okuma reels. Yeah, I got to get ready for my trip tomorrow. Hope the weather's good. Hope I catch the big ones. Until that next video, tight lines, Jay.
Look at him go, look at him go. All right. Proof of concept worked. Worked. All right. Right where I thought. Good fish. Really good fish.